Hey everyone. I don't have much pleasantries today. M- There are times when I talk when I am upbeat. I can say one thing to you. I'm never fake here. If I feel happy, I talk like that. If I'm not, I don't. Because life is full of all of it. I just finished crying for about 15 minutes with my mom. I live in US and my mom is in India. I wasn't crying to get something. I wasn't crying because I was complaining. I wasn't crying because of thinking, why? I was just crying. Sometimes you just have to wash your pain using your tears. Then I started thinking of this book. I'm from a state called Kerala in India, and the native language is called Malayalam. And I have been an avid reader since I'm very young. My dad had a big library. He had this book, which is a Malayalam translation of a Russian book. And the title was ഒരു യഥാർത്ഥ മനുഷ്യന്റെ കഥ, meaning story of a real man. Now, the English version of it I wouldn't read for another 20 years, I think. I was 7 years old when I read this book for the first time, and since then I have read it countless number of times. I can tell you, if I have to summarize the book in 2 or 3 sentences, it's an everyday story. But at the same time, it's not an everyday story. This book, along with Viktor Frankl's Man's Search of Meaning, pretty much defined my life. This book is about, it's actually written by not the hero or the person of the who went through this, and it is written as a novel. So there are portions of it that is exaggerated, I guess. I never really looked into it more because I don't want to. It made a profound impact. One, it for the first time in my life, I saw what human will really means. Second, I admired the author, the way he had written. I felt like I was right there, witnessing it. It's the first time I have ever read a book that made me feel that way. I have started writing by then, and I wanted to write like that. I felt the anguish of the hero. I felt the pain. I felt the joy. And there is these scenes that is describes in it. Even though I read the English version of it, the Malayalam version of it sticks with me. Maybe it is because I read it in such an impressionable age. Alexei Petrovich Meresev, I probably butchered the name. He was a Russian military pilot who was shot down. He was almost captured. In the snow, he crawled 18 days. By the time someone found him, he was ready to lose both his legs. Became an amputee, and it describes as if he was nothing but bones. During this journey he makes, which is he's crawling on the snow, he talks about um, there is this one area that is I might be miss again. It's been 34 years since I read it. The book is with me, but I do not have the spine or the courage to read it again right now. He talks about this tin can full of fat that is it's food for the soldiers. And while he's crawling, he finds people who are dead soldiers, and he scavengers and finds whatever he can. In one particular place, he talks about how the can of fat runs out, and he put the snow or the ice in it, and then he heats them up. Then he drinks that liquid, which has a very mild flavor of that fat. He ate whatever he could find. Keep in mind, he is completely vulnerable. He's crawling. He doesn't know where he is completely. He doesn't know if he will be rescued. The 6-year-old mind of mine was stuck on the fact that he was still moving. I kept thinking, why didn't he just give up? It took me a long time for that question to be answered, because he couldn't. That is not who he was. I jokingly say that when life, if it is a boxing match, when life hits me, it better make sure that I hit the floor not breathing, because if there is a breath left in me, I am going to get up. I know a lot of people who thinks like that. But none of that means that we don't cry, we don't feel bad, we don't whine, we don't bitch. We do all of it. We just do it with the right people. The difference is that we don't stay in that space. Usually I will have a tidbit for you. Today I don't. Like I said, I call my aunt first, and then I call my mom, thousands of miles away, and I cried my eyes out. I wasn't crying because of things that is happening. I was crying because at this stage, I should be taking care of my parents. I should be worrying about them, not the other way. Every now and then that thought hits me. So my mom says that I have a brother, smarter than I am, better than me in any way, everywhere. See, I can't even speak. So she was saying that there is one problem with me and my brother, which is that we really don't know how to lie, and we really don't know how to live in this world. among the social standards, the social normalcy. And I got angry. And I told my mom that I don't want to. I don't want to lie. I don't want to be like everybody else, where everyone is lying. I don't want to laugh when other people laugh, and I don't want to walk away from them when they are crying. If this is the price I have to pay, then this is what I want. It doesn't make it any easy. It doesn't mean that I suddenly become some kind of a saint and take everything positively and not cry and I am a trooper. No, I fall more often than you can think. That's the reason I'm here, not pretending, and I'm opening my heart up. If I'm telling you something, I make sure that I try to practice it. Sometimes I fail, but I get up and try again. This world, this life, it's wonderful, beautiful, but it is not fair. But that's a human perception. We think it's not fair, but who knows? For whatever it is worth, as Elon Musk said, we all might be in a simulation. But I like to go with the thought of there is a divine power out there. And I don't want to be arrogant enough to say that I know and I can define what it is. The beauty of life is in everything. It's in the abundance and it's in the lack. It's in the joy and it's in the sorrow. You cannot just want one thing and not the other. Then how do you know the value? See, I'm sitting here and then now I'm rationally telling you all this. 20 minutes ago, I was crying my eyes out. That's life. As long as you can go between, you're good. Don't worry. I've been called worse. Mood swings and all those things are normal. When something significant happens in life, you're supposed to feel it, don't you think? If you can talk yourself out of feeling sad about your parents dying or grandparents dying or child dying or losing something, then what's the point? Do you all know that you cannot selectively block certain feelings and feel something else? It's fake. Then you have to feel it all. As my age goes up, I'm starting to think that this whole thing is a classroom on our own. Teachers are what we look around and what we find. This journey is all about growth. It's all about finding out who we are. And we have to get lost to find ourselves sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I might cry again tomorrow. And some of my doctors will say this is a mood swing. I have stopped arguing with people if it's a mood swing. I have been medicated. I still take medication, and if you need medication, you have to take it. But you also have to be smart enough to know that when you are taking the right medication and when you're over medicated. Faith, hope, dream, love. All of this are really hard. But every second of it is worth it. If you could, find this book and read it. It's called The Story of a Real Man. It's a Russian book translated in English. There is quite a bit that gets lost in the translation, but for me, I've read it hundreds of times, and even now I feel walking along with him, and I learn something new every single day, every single time I read it. Read stories, hear them out. If you're looking for someone to be friends with, to be partner with, to be anything with, who's so perfect, and you somehow found them, then trust me, they are hiding. I did that too. I made that mistake this past June. He ran faster than a tornado could. I don't blame him. We all have our capacity, and we all have to be careful. But hey, it's a lesson. It's 18 minutes. This one is one of my longest. This is not a sad story. I feel so much better after I cried. After I cried, I thought of this book. I glanced through it. And you know what? I'm still here. And I'm gonna get up tomorrow and do what I need to do. I will put a dent in this world. And I hope you do too. And together, maybe we can break some walls. I'm not a feminist, I'm a humanist. So I am calling on man, woman, child, transgender, non-gender, everyone, please. Let's put one small dent, each of us. You can reach out to me. My contact information is up there. I would love to hear from you. When I have decided is from now on, I might write fiction here and there, but I will not sugarcoat things. This space, I will use it to tell you the truth, as I love it, as I see it. Maybe one of the stories I tell will give you that boost to make a change to your life. I love you all, and I wish you the best. Talk to you soon.